Hey, welcome back to Branching Out. I'm Curtis Hanlon. I just wanted to branch out here a little bit and talk about diatomaceous earth. Now, it's a relatively new product to me. I've never really looked into it as much, but I do plan on using it this spring to help with some of my trees. As I'm going to dust with this talc-like substance, and it's going to help with some of the pests. And we'll get into what it is and what it can help you with. But yeah, it's supposed to be a very good organic style pest control. And I'll use it to mostly just do a little bit around my trees and then on the tree trunk to prevent caterpillars from climbing up that tree and nesting and really getting at those leaves. And as well, bringing in any mites or anything else that may damage my trees. So that's what we're going to be working on a little bit this spring. So let's get into it. This here is just a quick picture of some diatomaceous earth. It's a silica type product. It comes natural. You get it from prehistoric, what they call diatoms. And we'll just switch over and I'll show you what they look like. So these here are diatoms. This is under a microscope, so you can see the kind of shape that they are. These are prehistoric, actually. They use the word prehistoric a lot because, I don't know, I suppose that after millions of years of being casted, their shells being casted out, they're able to collect it into like a powder or a powder-like substance. Now, the thing about diatoms is that when it's all collected, under a microscope, it acts as like razors. So what it does is it'll cut the exoskeletons of plenty of bugs, and we'll get into that in a second on what bugs they're best for, or insects they're best for, used for. I just want to do a quick note there that when you do use it, it will affect bees. So you don't want to be dusting your flowers and stuff. And like I said, I'll probably only be using it near my trunk and or the base of the tree to help prevent things from climbing up, such as ants, slugs, snails, and or earwigs or mites or anything that may carry them. Like ants have a tendency to create mite factories and then transport them up into your plant. So yeah, I just wanted to show you, this is kind of the microscopic. I was looking into this today and I found that it's quite interesting that something that's prehistoric can be used. Now what we are going to be looking for is food grade diatomaceous earth. That's what we want. And you can actually eat it. It's also known to help get rid of parasites and a few other little things that I don't really want to get into because it has nothing to do with gardening. So yeah, so now we're going to talk about some of the bugs and or insects that it has helped used for. So best used for, and what they do is, oh yeah, and I'd like to mention that when it does cut the exoskeleton and or cut the joints or of the insect itself, what it does is it makes it dry out. So it actually makes it become dehydrated, and within like an hour they'll die. So that's the idea, that it'll take care of them peacefully, hopefully. I hate killing anything, including bugs, if I don't have to. But if they invade my space or my fruit trees, then I have to draw the line. So, yeah. Diatoms. All right, so the common pests, like I had this up here just so you guys can, maybe pause the video or something like that and kind of look at it. But you can find all of this on Google. The household pets, or excuse me, the household pests that diatomaceous earth can help with is ants, bed bugs, cockroaches, fleas, silverfish, spiders, mites, ticks, earwigs, and crickets. And ticks is a big one around here too, so it may help just sprinkle a little bit of that around and help. Now, I also wanted to point out that diatomaceous earth is no good when it's raining. When it's wet or moist, it is no good. But what it can do is, if it does get wet, which you do reapply, so you reapply when it's dry out, and if there's some left over and it hasn't been totally washed away, when it dries, it'll become active again. So it's just a matter of like it just clumps up a bit and mixes moisture with it, and it just becomes like a little bit of a sludge. So another thing we can do here is the garden pests, and what it can help with are the aphids, the beetles, the Japanese flea, which is like the Japanese beetle kind of thing, the slugs, the snails, the mole crickets, the squash bugs, termites, I don't know what a thrips is. I've never looked that one up. Grasshoppers, fungus gnats, and cabbage maggots. Now, one thing it's not really saying here really much, other than maybe slugs, is caterpillars. It'll totally help out with some of those cottle moths, which is a lot of the stuff that I have problems with here is cottle moths and or other caterpillars in some other way. So that's your household pets. These are your garden pets, your household pests, and your garden pests. And that's, like I said, I'll just reiterate that what it does is just it cuts their skeleton or into their skin or into their shell, and it allows them to become dehydrated. And when they become dehydrated, they want to die off. So you definitely want to make sure you get the food grade diatomaceous earth made from prehistoric diatoms. And you want to use maybe a mask, maybe some glasses, because you definitely, it can be an irritant, because you got to remember it's microscopic, but it definitely has like very sharp edges, and that's what's really going to help you kill the pests. So this is not a long video, so I just wanted to make a quick video and hope you all watch it and come back next week, and we'll try to find something else that we can learn together. And if you've had any experience with diatomaceous earth, by all means, leave it in the comments. Tell me your story. We really like to learn. Everybody on the channel likes to learn from other people, and you know, and we really want to create a better environment for the food forest. I really want to work on this. It's just one way to help control some pests, but I'm going to use other methods too, like possibly a cottle moth trap, maybe even some wasp nests traps. I'm not really big into killing, even wasps help pollinate. So I'm trying not to kill the pollinators, but the ones that are going to be bad are definitely going to be the spider mites, you know, and the beetles, the slugs, and the snails. And those are the ones we really want to help take care of. So what I'm also going to use is also on the raised beds. Sprinkle it around the edges of the raised beds, kind of like some people put copper, so other people put salt, some people put wool. And I plan on using some of this diatomaceous earth. And in the summertime, when we go to use it, I'll show you some of the applications. They usually come with an applicator. It's just a little duster container that you just fill up, and you just give it a little squeeze, and it dusts out a lot of this powder. So thanks for coming and checking out my video. Don't forget to come back next week. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up down there. Love to hear your comments and share with your friends. You guys stay safe. Take care.